Hey guys, welcome to Denny's. Today, as you can see by the intro clip, we're going to be going over the fastest possible way to farm your green vouchers to get your free skins from ETA 0, either A, for the Infernal Walker skins, or B, for the skins coming up with the new patch. More specifically, we're going to go into two builds. We're going to go into a Viessa build and a Valby build. Viessa is going to be the more safe one, Valby is going to be the quicker one, and we will kind of elaborate on the quickest way to be getting them. But as you can see by the clip, it's pretty crazy. Don't forget to like the video. If it helped you out, I would really appreciate it, guys. It's super easy to do. Just press that like button right below. And then subscribe if you feel that I've earned it with this, and then follow me over on Twitch, guys. We're live 5 days a week. I would love to see you guys over there. We're going to be live right after this video goes live, and the announcement today is we're giving away 2 Descendants. So on the launch of Ines Reactor, we'll be giving away 2. One is going to be a subscriber-only giveaway on Twitch, and then the second one is going to be a follower chance. So you, as a Twitch follower, you're going to have a chance to win Ines Reactor. However, subscribers can still win that second one too, so keep that in mind. But yeah, I'm going to be giving away 2, and I hope to see you guys over there for that. But let's jump into the video. I don't want to make this intro too long, even though it had the big announcement in it. Let's jump right into the video. All right, now let's jump into the Valby build. I would like to put a preface for this one as well, guys. This is with a level 5 reactor, and this is with a very min-max setup. So if you want to get very consistent with Infernal Walker to farm these vouchers, I would highly recommend going for this build because it is probably the most useful build in the game right now as far as really doing as much damage as possible in general. This build is absolutely bonkers. It's very niche. It's very good. Not everybody will be able to accomplish this. This is going to take practice. It took me a solid like 15 attempts to get the rotation really down and going in order to get the consistent sub 20, sub 30 second kills with Valby. However, it is very fun and very satisfying once you do get the build together because it's not just as easy as it gets, and it can be obviously really rewarding to do that. So with that being said, let's jump into the Valby build. And we will be going into a Viessa build for safety. If you don't want to use this Valby build, there is going to be, the latter half of the video is going to have a Viessa build. It's very safe, very easy, sub 2 minute kills, even sub 1 minute 30 kills, and probably sub minute kills if you get it down as well. So keep that in mind. Let's jump in. First, most important is going to be the mods. So the mod setup we are going to be using, I want to shout out a YouTube user here. I'm going to throw him up on screen, and then this video is what inspired me to do this, and I would love to give a shout out to him because this is honestly crazy. It's a very, very, very good build, very well thought out with everything that synergizes together perfectly to get this kill. So yeah, shout out to you, and let's jump over to the mods once again. So the mods we're going to be using are Supply Moisture for the Transcendent module. Now the main reason we're going to be using this, guys, because everybody's going to say, oh my god, you're running non-crit and you're using Supply Moisture. Now hold on before you go crazy. The main reason we're going to be using this is actually for the firearm ATK. This is going to give us a nice bump to our firearm ATK and give us a skill duration increase as well. So it's giving us a skill duration increase. Okay, that is very important, but it's also giving us firearm ATK increase. And we are using our Python. The Python does give us a big portion of our damage. It's obviously not the weapon damage itself that's doing the boss's whole health bar, but we are doing a good chunk of the boss's health bar with this. So the skill duration being the most important and the firearm ATK being the second most important. Obviously the crit hit rate does not matter because we're pretty much not critting with Python, and we're also not critting with our abilities, but we'll jump into the mods. So the damage mods we're going to be using: Fusion Specialist, Fusion Master, Fusion Amplification, and Non-Attribute Amplification. This is going to give us separate buckets and all the same buckets from Slayer, so separate from Slayer, but all the same buckets in our mod list here. This is going to give us the most possible damage we can get. Fusion Master giving us the skill power, but also giving us the Fusion skill power modifier, not stacking too much skill power up to get too much diminishing returns. It is why it is the best damage and highest damage output you can have here. That is what we will be using for damage. As far as quality of life, we need our cooldown, guys. We absolutely need it. I'm going to explain the gameplay loop and the mechanics and everything with this, but first I'll go over the mods. So MP Conversion, Nibble Fingers, and Multi-Talented. Our third and second ability give us Dimension, which gives us a minus 20% cooldown. Guys, the max cooldown is 90%. So with Multi-Talented being procced, we do not have to run Focus on Fusion or Focus on Non-Attribute because we are getting our cooldown capped whenever we have Multi-Talented. So we can run things like Skill Extension, Skill Expansion, and Maximize Duration. That is going to be what's very important. Guys, I would like to emphasize right now, if you just took a screenshot and you're just going to leave, I highly recommend against it. You will need to know the gameplay loop and mechanics and rotation, which I will try to be describing after I go over the build in the best detail that I can. So keep that in mind before we run into the reactor and components really quickly. But that is the Descendant modules. Let's jump into the aforesaid. All right, so the reactor. It is a fusion non-attribute reactor mounted with a hand cannon. That is going to be the best in slot. And guys, if you want to get this going, I would highly recommend getting a gold Colossus. However, you do not need a gold skill cooldown. You can get a purple skill cooldown and be completely fine with this build. You do not need a gold cooldown. It helps, obviously, if you get that extra bit of cooldown. It definitely helps, but it is not necessary to get a gold cooldown. You can get your within 0.09 of your max cooldown without it, but this is by far the best in slot. Let's go into the components for the build and talk about those. So obviously, again, we're using Slayer. It's the same set that I'm using with Viessa. Not a lot to talk about. You've got max HP, MP recovery on the sensor, max MP, MP recovery on the, sensor. The first one was aux power. The third one is memory. You want MP recovery modifier and defense, and then the processor you want max shield and equipment drop rate increase. Now, it's actually quite important, guys. If the Slayer aux power, in order to run this build, and as well as the sensor and the memory, you absolutely need all the rolls that I said. So max HP, MP recovery out of combat. As you can see, I have a blue roll on my MP recovery out of combat. That is what's causing me to get very inconsistent kills. I'm able to get sub 30-second kills, but I can't always get a sub 20-second kill just because of my MP recovery out of combat not being at least purple on the power, aux power. So if you guys are listening right now, definitely you need MP recovery to be at least purple on your aux power out of combat, because this is what allows us to stack so many of our first ability whenever we're running in that gameplay loop. But yeah, this is the components, again, same as Viessa, and it will be very good to make sure that you're min-maxing these rolls, get a little bit of survivability, as well as MP recovery, which is what is necessary. Let's jump into the weapons, which is even more important. All right, so starting off with the Peacemaker, we use better weapon weight and better weapon weight. So these are both mods. They're named the same thing. However, one is ultimate, one is a rare quality mod. So this is basically making it so we swap to our Python as fast as we possibly can, and we get a nice little bit of defense to make certain that we don't get one-shotted by his flame blast whenever you are underneath him, because you will always be proccing that flame blast, and it will probably kill you a lot unless you time this right. So make sure that you have that better weapon weight ×2 to swap to the Python quicker, and then that is pretty much it for the Python, the Peacemaker. Let's jump into the Python, because this is actually quite important as well. So the Peacemaker here, we've got basically it built for maximum weak point damage as well as firearm ATK with charge amp, rifling reinforcement, action and reaction, weak point sight, have aiming, and then chill enhancement, fire rate up, and expand weapon charge. Obviously, chill enhancement is for the extra chill damage. He's weak to chill, so there you go, getting a little bit of extra chill damage. And then real life fighter, you need to make sure you're hitting all of your weak points on this build. So we are also running Hawkeye. Now Hawkeye can be changed out for the increased magazine reload time. If you want to run that, it'll definitely increase your DPS, but I have a problem with aiming in this game, so I go with real life fighter to make sure that Hawkeye, so that I make sure I hit all my real life fighter shots to get my weak point stacking and make sure that I hit that weak point to stack the debuff of Python. Now let's talk about Python's unique ability real quick, and the reason why this is extremely important and good as a part of the mechanics and kind of gameplay loop. This unique ability, Prey, makes it so that you shred their non-attribute resistance by 3.6% per stack. That is 28 max stacks you can get. So if we do some quick calculator math, 28 times 3.6, you're going to get 100% non-attribute resistance shred, guys. This is absolutely absurd. This is insane. You are literally going to basically be cutting all of his non-attribute resistance all the way down. Okay, that is absolutely bonkers, and why this is absolutely necessary to get this kill. I want to emphasize that as much as I possibly can. I quickly forgot to go over Peacemaker's unique ability, so let's go over Peacemaker's as well. Whenever you use a Dimension or Fusion ability, you get a stacking 9.5% non-attribute skill power buff. It lasts for 15 seconds. Max stacks is 5. So you're getting a 50% skill power buff with Peacemaker as well. Guys, the synergy does not stop. These weapons are absolutely necessary, and you need them to do this. And it feels really satisfying to get this energy down and get, like I said, get everything down. Let's jump into the Inversion, because it's just as important. And then we'll jump into the gameplay loop for this to kind of help people get a good idea as what to do. All right, so inversion reinforcement. So inversion reinforcement, the ones that you are going to want to run on Valby, you're going to want heightened sensory cells again. We want to be getting our MP back at the very beginning whenever he first spawns so that we can use another one of our first abilities. Chill focus rounds is actually quite important because it gives you another 30% ATK that he is weak to while you're shooting your Python. And again, Python is a very big chunk of our damage, so keep that in mind. Chill focus rounds there. And then RK boost. So RK boost, not really like the most necessary. If you're having trouble with dying, you can run the antibody explosion in survival. I run RK boost so that we can get the additional cooldown, and honestly, it really doesn't matter. You can run whatever you want here. It truly does not matter. The only things that are important are heightened sensory cells and chill focus rounds for this setup with Valby. Now let's jump into the gameplay loop. So the gameplay loop matters from start to finish, guys, from when you spawn in all the way to when you are at the end of the fight, basically. So when you start, I'm going to try to do this slow so everybody can kind of follow along, but you can remember, go back in the video if you need to kind of get a refresher. So when you first start and you first load in, as soon as you are able to move, guys, you are going to want to use your second ability, look straight down below the line, the middle of the circle, and you'll see me doing it in the footage, and you will be able to escape the start zone with Valby's second ability. I would like to highlight that you don't need to do this in order to get the sub 30-second kills. You can still get the sub 30-second kills if you want to wait till the circle ends. I want to emphasize that before anybody attacks me in the comments, going over why, wow, not everybody's going to be able to do this because you can't get out of the circle. It's a bug. It's an exploit, blah, blah, blah. You're right. It is a bug. It shouldn't be possible, but it makes it so we can get a 15-second kill, 13-second kill. So you can look straight down, use your second ability, get out, and you're going to want to immediately run mid-air grapple straight over to the middle left of the room, as you can see me do. The middle left of the room is going to be where we're going to be planting all of our first abilities. But before you do that, when you land, you're going to want to spam your third ability and make sure that you cancel it. Don't spam it too much to where you proc it again a second time. You want to spam your third ability, make sure that you cancel it perfectly. Usually all that means is you have to press it about 2 or 3 times, maybe 4 times. You'll be able to cancel it. This is the part where you have to get down to make sure you aren't messing it up. And then as soon as you get out of that, you're basically spamming your first ability at the same time while you're looking straight down. Now you can get 4 bubble blasts between every third ability. So you're going to go third ability, reset it, bubble blast, bubble blast, bubble blast, bubble blast. So that's 4 bubble blasts. Then you're going to do your third ability again, cancel it as soon as you can, and spam your first ability at the same time. And you're going to do 4 again, so you can get 4 bubble blasts in between. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to do that rotation 3 times before the boss is ready to go. And if you're really good at it, you can get it almost 4 times. So you can get 16 iterations of the bubble bullet down on the ground to do as much damage as possible. It's very difficult to do, but you want to position yourself all the way to the right. You want to start moving all the way to the right when the boss is attackable. That way he moves into your pile that you just spawned. And while you're moving to the right, you are shooting, trying to locate his weak point and shooting it. This is going to basically make it so that he is moving into it. Obviously, he is going to do his fire blast, but this is going to make it so he's moving into your puddle and you are getting your non-attribute stacking going with Python. He should, if everything was done right, he should get stunned pretty quickly. And then you can look right up at him, get your non-attribute stuff stacking, and then you'll see his health bar just go down, 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 and you are pretty much good. Now, most of the time, guys, if you don't have a level 5 reactor, this guy will probably get back up. He does get back up every single time before you get that 15-second kill, but you probably won't have him killed if you don't have the level 5 reactor. Maybe with a level 4 reactor if you've done everything perfectly. So what you're going to want to do is probably die because you're out of MP at this point. I would just immediately die and then run back in, play it safe. He's going to have a little bit of HP. Start throwing out make sure you proc your multi-talented with your third ability and then start throwing out your bubble blasts on him. Try to keep a healthy distance. If he charges up his red rockets that he shoots 3 times, just grapple midair. You'll always be able to dodge them if you midair grapple away. As soon as he starts charging that, get your double jump off. He's going to miss you pretty much every time. And then just kind of keep your distance, shoot your Python whenever you've got enough of your bubble bullets going, and you should be good. I will include some footage in the background, and you probably have already seen it, of me kind of failing to do that, failing to kill him on the first go, so that you guys get an idea that you can kill him in sub 30 seconds even if you mess this up without an HP mod. I know people are not gonna be happy we're not running an HP mod, but this is for speed, and I included the safety, the Viessa safe build at the start of the video. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you need to, go through the gameplay mechanics, it's practice makes perfect in this case, guys. If you want to farm your tickets fast, just go and practice this. It took, like I said, it took me like 10, 15 runs to really get this down and pay attention enough to make sure I get the rotation down and get it perfectly going every time. in order to kill him in sub 20 seconds. And still, I've only got like 15 or so kills under my belt of the sub 25, sub 20 seconds. But it's very, very fun, very, very satisfying. And Valby is just by far the most damage dealer in the game, the highest damage dealer in the game right now with this build. It's just absurd how much damage you can lay down, obviously, in just 13 seconds. So yeah. All right, so starting off with Viessa's mods. So we're going to be using the Absolute Zero build. This build is going to make it so that your passive makes it so you always crit. So your critical hit rate is increased. That means you do not have to run Blue Beetle when you're running all 4 crit mods. So just taking a look right away, skill insight, skill concentration, emergency measures, and front lines. And then a lot of people, this is where a lot of people might differ. I like to run focus on chill and focus on singular. And the reason for this is mainly just to do with cooldown. Guys, 6% cooldown may not seem like a lot, but it is a big amount when you boil it down. You are going to be getting a giant amount off of your ultimate ability, and you're also going to be getting a second or so off of your third ability. Now, it can amount to more if you're using different component sets, but I like to use both focus on. If you guys do not want to run the focus on singular, it's not giving you a huge damage boost. It's mainly just for the cooldown. You can run dangerous ambush, or you can run another range mod. If you're having trouble hitting your third ability, this is going to help out if you run another range mod. However, I like to run focus on singular mainly just because of the cooldown, but you can technically get faster kills if you run dangerous ambush and you line it up perfectly, or you can run an extra range mod if you're having issues with that hitbox on your third ability and even your fourth ability. So again, double focus there. And then we've got MP conversion and nimble fingers, again, prioritizing the cooldown reduction. And then obviously increased HP. We really want to make sure we're not dying super easily right away. We want to survive his blast, but we will be utilizing dying in order to reset our fourth ability very commonly. So don't get it misconstrued. We're not, building HP just for trying to live all the time. We are definitely going to be dying. And then skill expansion is going to give us 92% range, and most of her abilities are capped at 250%. So we're at a nice 200% range. And then obviously all of her abilities, again, capped at around that 250%. So we don't need much more range to cap them out. But that is going to be the build for Viessa. That's going to be the Descendant modules. Let's jump over to the Reactor, Components, and Weapon. All right. So the Reactor. The Reactor is shared with Haley. As you can see right off the rip, my Reactor is only level 2. So what that means is if you're willing to invest, this is probably the #1 reactor to invest dimension analyzers into because it is shared with Haley. But we are using a crit damage and Colossus frozen singularity reactor. Now you'll notice that I have the submachine gun mounted. I would actually prefer to have Frostwatcher mounted. There is ways to get faster kills. If you shoot the weak point with Frostwatcher before you do your big rotation, you will get kills quicker, pretty much point blank period. However, I didn't have a reactor with a scout rifle mounting on it to implant onto this one, and I was kind of lazy, so I just jumped right in for the kills with this, with my Thunder Cage and an increased defense mod whenever I get a kill. That is pretty much the moral of the story. However, I would like to re-emphasize that if you get this to level 5, you will be killing significantly faster. A lot of people don't think that it's that worth it to level up reactors. I can promise you, you will see a difference in the damage, especially if you're pre-stacking Quantum Incubation. You get to that 15 stacks before the pull, you will see a damage increase. However, again, this is up to you completely if you have the dimension analyzers and everything. But let's jump into the components. All right, so Viessa Components, pretty straightforward. Don't have to spend too much time on them, luckily. We've got the whole Slayer set. We're using Slayer Aux power, sensor, memory, and processor. The rolls are actually pretty important. You do want to have as high of a roll as you can on the Aux power, max HP, MP recovery. Sensor, you definitely want max MP, MP recovery. The memory, I do not have defense and MP recovery, but that is the best in slot roll. So MP recovery and defense for the memory. And processor, I would recommend having a little bit of extra max shield whenever you're going against bosses like this that tend to kill you pretty quickly. Again, obviously, we will be utilizing the boss's mechanics to kill, or to basically die, so we can reset our cooldowns and do more damage quickly to get the kills quicker. So keep that in mind. You don't have to run max shield, but it helps a little bit. You can always run equipment drop rate increase modifier on the processor to help you get a little bit extra loot. But that is going to be the Slayer set. Again, it's pretty straightforward and not a lot really to change. If you guys really wanted to, if you didn't want to be as squishy and you didn't want to get kills as fast, you can run 2-piece Hunter and 2-piece Annihilation. So 2-piece Hunter and 2-piece Annihilation will make you a little bit tankier. Your skills will cost less, and you'll have more cooldown and duration to deal with as well. All the rolls would be the exact same on all the components, though, so keep that in mind for the alternative there. Let's jump over to the weapons as well as the inversion. All right, so to go into the weapon, again, prioritize Frostwatcher, guys. You're going to want to just equip Frostwatcher Frost Watcher, and you're going to want to hit the weak point before you start doing your damage. Obviously, Frost Watcher's unique is going to be, you get that giant chill power boost whenever you hit the weak point for a nice amount of time. It obviously snapshots your damage as well, so you'll be able to get the snapshot if you get the ability your Blizzard off beforehand. So yeah, keep that in mind. And then, this is for Frost Watcher if you want to do the most damage you can do. For me, I'm using Thunder Cage in the footage. It really is like, obviously it is a big difference, guys. You can do a huge amount more damage and definitely get the kill quicker. But again, if you want to be consistent, you can always run like a defense mod. If you're running Frost Watcher, you can run better weapon weight, get that extra defense on there, etc., etc. So Frost Watcher is the best one. Again, I'm using Thunder Cage. Not a huge deal here. You just want something to hold on to, maybe give you a little bit of extra defense whenever you need. And that is as simple as it gets for the weapon. We'll jump into the inversion real quick. All right, so for the inversion, mainly you can do a lot of different things. So for me, I basically just use some survival. So I can use antibody explosion or void resistance. Void resistance is probably the better one because it gives you that incoming damage modifier minus 16% whenever you are below 50% HP. And then heightened sensory cells is a must. That way you get MP back and you can use your abilities a little bit easier when you're closer to him, like at the beginning whenever you first use your Blizzard. You'll see in the background footage. And then the last one's really up to you guys. If you want to run more HP whenever the mobs spawn to get some more HP, if you want to run RK Boost to get some more cooldown, RK Boost is really solid, to be honest. And then you could also use Adrenaline Rush if you want some more movement speed. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward for the inversion reinforcement. As you can see, the screenshot on screen is what I am currently using. That has pretty much been the build and the whole video. And just kind of, I hope you guys enjoyed it again. I think you guys are gonna be able to farm your green tickets pretty fast with this one. It's a lot more consistent than Haley. And again, not everybody's gonna be able to do it. I understand that. That's why I included the Viessa build if you guys want to go the safe route. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Don't forget to follow me over on Twitch. We're doing the Ines Raya giveaway, and that Ines Raya giveaway will be for 2 of them, one for a subscriber and one for followers have a chance to win as well. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I just want to give back to the community who's been supporting me. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, night, wherever you're at. Enjoy the video, enjoy the grind, and I'll see you guys over on Twitch. Peace out, guys. Goodbye.